1, go!
What's up, guys? So I'm live. I know it's last minute, but whatever. I'm gonna pretty much just be recording a episode for reviewing the FANATEC DD Pro, I guess, setup with the Crew Motorfest. I know you guys, the Crew Motorfest came out yesterday, early release or early access, early release, and yeah, people have been asking what's it like to play with a wheel. Most people, this is kind of like an arcade sim. So people play with a controller, right? So if I were to play, for example, Need for Speed Underground, right, I'd be using a controller. But so far, I've tried it with a wheel yesterday during the early release or early access, and we'll see how it goes today. Yeah, so the setup is going to be, I'm using this FANATEC wheel right here. It's the FANATEC GT DD Pro, so it's the kit for the Gran Turismo. So it's mainly for PlayStation, but right now I'm using it on PC. So if you have the Crew Motorfest, if you're getting it for PlayStation, you could use this base, this FANATEC base with this wheel. In order to play it on Xbox, though, you'll need to get an Xbox wheel. So even though you have a PlayStation base, you'll need an Xbox wheel. So that's the wheel. This current settings I have are pretty much just automatic, like whatever FANATEC has for automatic, because I haven't tuned it yet and I haven't found online any good ways to tune it to work with the Crew Motorfest. But yeah, we'll try it out with the automatic settings. I did play around the settings in game and I found a good way to actually use it. So let's try it out. Get in game. So the guys on Instagram aren't going to hear the sound because this is a recording and it's going through my phone. They won't be able to hear the sound. So if you guys are watching on Instagram, which I'm super grateful for, you know, you guys, thanks for joining. Hop on the YouTube channel. The link is in my bio. So you can keep watching on Instagram if you want, but you won't get any game sound. All right. Let's see if the servers are up. I was getting crashes earlier. Guessing too many people are online. Yeah, so we'll try with the default settings. Maybe later on we'll play around with FANATEC settings, and then we'll join the game right away with the default settings. Yeah, I got a haircut today, Ian.
Are you ready to go, driver?
Go straight into it. I actually don't like it when it puts me into this like person mode. So
should we continue our journey, driver?
So far, actually, let's look at the settings real quick. Just real quick before we start racing or driving. So right now I have it set to wheel controls. Right now everything's at default. So default steering, default throttle, default brake, default clutch. Let me turn off this fan real quick. And yeah, so we'll try with the default everything. FK8 Miller asked, how's it compared to Forza? I mean, so far it's like Forza. It's like Forza Horizon, not like Forza Motorsport, right? So, where Motorsport's more a little bit simmy, I guess, more on the sim side, where this is more on the arcade side, right? So, all right, so those are the settings.
Is a popular racing style in Japan, but drag racing also gets its fair share of gearheads. There's a drag spot set up not too far from here.
Yesterday, the issue was if I would try to correct the steering a little bit, it would overcorrect, and then I would just slide around everywhere. So let's see if it does it again. Oh, okay, so I thought that car was invisible. Let's see. Feels better today. I'm guessing it's the car. Let me change cars real quick. so we have an even comparison to yesterday. S2K, right? Gotta have the S2K. I think like half of my followers are S2K people. It's not as bad today. Maybe I got used to it. Or maybe I'm not going fast enough. Oh no, see, they're it's doing it again, like, where it's like, I'm turning left, but then like, make sure I don't oversteer left or right. It kind of wobbles. So if you see the wheel cam, you can kind of tell. It's not too bad, or it doesn't feel bad right now, but it's noticeable. It's definitely different from any sim game, right? Where are we going? Let's go to a drift competition. We'll try it normal driving and then drifting. Let's see here. Yeah, here. But yeah, the game looks great.
Let's complete this playlist. You've just shown us how well you could use drifting techniques in a race. Now that you're all warmed up, how about a
Oh man, I missed it.
event?
It feels a little better today, I don't know. Maybe yesterday was just a fluke. Because it was the release day. So maybe I just had the settings all jacked up. Okay, so it still understeers a little. Maybe I wasn't turning the wheel hard enough.
The airport is right on the coast, and the view of the ocean is stunning. At least that's what my databases tell me. Again, I'm just a robot. I hope you like the RX-7, because you'll be driving it again during this
Definitely feeling like, you know,
Except this time, she'll be waiting for you all modded and upgraded.
underground vibes.
Seen traditional Japan.
Oh shit.
Now it's time to enter the modern age. Be prepared. The contrast is stunning.
Yeah, it's a little weird, the default setting. So we'll play around with the other settings once we do a little bit of drifting. And you'll definitely see like the difference. Alright, so as much as I want to do this right now, let's just go to drifting, straight to drifting. Oh, I guess I can't cancel the event until it runs out. Yeah, let's talk about the force feedback. Feels pretty good. It's pretty strong. I would say it's like similar to Gran Turismo 7's strength, but when it comes to the details, that's a little harder to feel. I can't feel like it understeer or oversteer as easily as I can in Gran Turismo and in any other sim game, right? So those are some of the, I guess, not pros and cons, but differences. And then you could definitely tell in drifting that it's definitely, you know, made for a controller and not wheel, but it works. And that wide body RX-7. It's like not gaudy either. It's done pretty good. All right, let's see if we can drift with these stock settings. Nope.
Incredible. You did beat Hayato in that Toga duel. I knew it. There's something about you.
Yeah, so
Hayato is one of the best racers I know. Kudos.
yeah, it's hard to drift with the stock settings. So after this we'll try it with the settings I found out. So if you're using a wheel and you're struggling with the drifting, then it's not your fault. So yeah, we'll try it like this for now.
Was born in Japan. That is where you'll find the biggest drifting scene and some of the best drifting spots, of course.
This is why you have to have pretty much a round steering wheel, right?
This circuit is one
Can't
of
use
the
like a
most
GT
famous
wheel or
in the
Formula
world
wheel.
of drifting. Designed by drifters
Oh.
for drifters. Who knows? Maybe Motorfest will get you drifting there someday.
And if you notice, I don't have an e-brake, so I have to press the e-brake on the wheel, which is kind of like really hard to do. so you can't really e-brake drift. You have to inertia drift.
How do you feel about my modded RX-7? Tougher yet still elegant. That is my
I guess you could
RX-7
left foot brake
2.0
too.
for you. Because Japanese car culture isn't only famous for its drifting history, it also brought modded cars to another level, among many other things.
Yeah, you pretty much have to left foot brake. Yeah. Hey, at least we passed the mission.
You're almost done. Push that beauty to its limit. You have my permission.
Ah. All right, so let's see if we get more points with after changing the settings. All right, let's see.
Let's complete this playlist.
All right, so these are the settings that I found help out a lot. Wheel controls. Change it to precise. So if you look on the right side, there's like a little graph. This is like a very linear feel, and I'm guessing is like it's good for people using a stick because it's like when you press on the stick left, it goes all max, right? But if you're using a wheel, I feel like precise is better. Right? You get a little bit more ramp early on, and then it kind of tapers off in the end. So let's switch to this setting, and I feel like that's all you need. Like everything else works okay. So let's change these to precise. I know this is for like let's try that. Okay. Leave it on automatic for now. I think we have here's one. Make sure you have traction control and ABS off if you're using a pedal and wheel setup, because I feel like it makes it really dull. Right, so I would turn off ESP, traction control, and ABS, and then put the drift assist to sport mode, just so you're not like cranking the wheel so much. Let's try that. All right, try it again. This time with new settings. I really wish I had an e-brake now, because trying to press a single button while you're spinning the wheel is not. It's not ideal. We started the first half of the stream pretty much with the default settings. Let's try it now with the better settings, and we'll play the rest of the game. I have a couple other talking points that we gotta talk about, so let's start it. I see, like it's a little bit more.
Incredible! You did beat Hayato in that toga duel. I knew it.
Definitely better.
Something about you. Hayato is one of the best racers.
I mean, I still need to work on my drifting skills, but at least I'm not like constantly hitting the wall.
Welcome to my playground, the drift track.
And without an e-brake, you have to left foot brake, which is fine. They really didn't chain that combo together, but
In Japan, that is where you'll find the biggest drifting scene and some of the best drifting spots, of course. Like, the EBC circuit is one of the most famous places in the world for drifting. Designed by drifters, for drifters. Who knows? Maybe Motorfest will get you drifting.
I don't know if you could see in the wheel cam how much it shakes. I think it shakes a little too much. So like, even though the road is like wet, it shouldn't be shaking this much. Technically.
How do you feel about my modded RX-7? Tougher yet still elegant? That is my RX-7 2.0 for you. Because Japanese car culture isn't only famous for its drifting history, it also brought modded cars to another level, among many other things.
Yeah, it's tough without e-brake, but I mean, like, you could easier. Good thing this car has a lot of power because you can initiate the drift easy.
Come on, you're almost done. Push that beauty to its limit. You have my permission.
Now giving it too much gas. So I need to work on my drifting, but I mean, it was easier with those settings, so 10 out of 10 recommend you don't do default settings. Yeah.
Congratulations, driver.
Now let's do some city driving
with
the wheel.
Is a popular racing style in Japan.
It definitely feels a lot better.
Also gets its badge
Yesterday,
from
man,
Olympics. There's a
yesterday I was
transport
using it
not too
without.
far from here.
You see that guy fall from the sky? What was that? But it still does this little tail whip thing, which is kind of annoying. It's like maybe there's a dead zone, like where your wheel is in the middle and it doesn't like have any input. So let's see, like driving in a straight line. Let's test it out. So like, just say you're driving straight and you start to like wobble a little, and it's like kind of you have to really fight the wheel. Maybe like what if I change my view? Maybe it's like feels more realistic. Oh yeah, so like how much lag there is. I mean, it's kind of a little bit laggy if you're watching my wheel cam and then the wheel in the game. I don't know if that it's a visual thing, but it feels like it is laggy. So yeah, you just kind of have to drive ahead of the car. But I mean, hopefully that gives you an idea of like how you have to change your driving style if you go into this game treating it like a sim. That's my word of advice. Yeah, driving a straight line, like if you start to wobble, then you kind of just have to really hold the wheel still. You can't like stop it from doing that, you know, by fighting it. Also, it looks like we'll keep going as is, just so that we could practice, you know. Alright, so just go on green pretty much. Got some drag racing. I think after drag racing, we'll try some demolition. Just because we didn't get to try it yesterday. Oh man, I hesitated. Alright, so whenever you do burnout, you can't just bounce off the rev limiter, so at least now I know. We'll retry it. Try it again. Oh, I guess the shift points are not at red line. Okay. Let me know for next time. Is it 3 runs? Just 3 runs. Oh, I guess there's that other. Okay. So you have to shift right at the green, not red line, and you have to, when you do your burnout, you have to keep it in the green and not overheat your tires, I guess.
Great job, but the journey is far from over.
So actually,
Can't really get a taste
I think we
of
have enough for
Japanese
the
car culture
Lotus.
without some proper urban racing and seriously modded customs.
Let's talk about the wheel a little bit more. I know that this is supposed to be a wheel stream. I think where the wheel is kind of difficult is in third person mode. I think because like you're pointing at the car and you see it like rock, like the delay. I think you have to pretty much, if you're gonna use the wheel, you pretty much have to be in first person mode. So let's try it. It still feels a little weird. You can see the wheel like hunting for it,
The
right?
streets of Honolulu at night should set the perfect stage for these final races Motorfest has prepared for you.
Oh no. That feels better first person. Like I think
Prepare
Assessment's right. The arcade style
The
games,
pack hasn't shown
third
you all their
person,
moves yet,
feel
and I
kind of
believe
weird.
They're ready to put on quite a show. Expect top-tier upgrades and expert driving.
Yeah, but see, it's still doing that like back and forth.
We're almost there. Show them once and for all that you have what it takes.
Doing that. I'm in Evo now. My hope is that somebody on Reddit creates a FANATEC wheel setup that I could just, you know, like start as a baseline.
This is what you've been waiting for when you signed up for the Made in Japan experience. Out of this world customs owning the city.
Well, you got your wish. Everybody's car is on top of their game, especially your new ride, Toji's Mitsubishi Lancer Evo X.
Yeah, Toji's the craziest customizer of us all. He loves his cars big and mean.
Yeah, like I said earlier, it's hard to feel the understeer and oversteer. You don't get that like
What impressive.
loose feeling with the oversteer, and then the like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, the vibraty feeling, the bouncy feeling with the understeer.
The Evo X, or previously known as Concept X and Prototype X, is
You can hear it, though.
the Lancer Evolution series. It's the most technologically advanced Evo ever.
Another JDM gem. You're welcome. Toji would say it's the best of them all.
Okay, so the brakes. Okay, so I can feel the oversteer now. That's another thing, like, if once you start sliding, you can't correct it. You have to, like, at the mercy, and you have to, like, just hold the wheel still. Just fine, you know, arcade game. jeez. I do like how you can see the lights on the wheel, so it works.
Do you know that the Evo X doesn't have a legit reverse gear? It has 2 forward gears working together to make the wheels rotate in the opposite way. Cool, huh?
And that's how you save on weight.
Precisely.
What a race! That Motorfest crew knows how to throw a party.
Don't get too excited. You're just a host in that fantasy.
Watch out. Hosts can be dangerous, Mrs. Abernathy.
Hey, I got that, ref.
Nerds, both of you.
Yeah, maybe it's a little too easy.
The finish line's just a few seconds away, guys. It's now or never. This was the Mitsu Lancer Evo X with a
I don't know if you guys were watching yesterday,
and you just showed you're totally worthy of that car.
but yesterday I was really struggling, but that was because I didn't have the settings set up. So this is just all settings, right? As far as like car control, right? When we're gonna have loot boxes, right?
What a
All right.
win! The first of many, I am sure. Last event, right there. You'll
This is
be
the last
racing amongst
event.
The whole pack this time, so we got you covered with a special car. Have fun.
This is the last event for the Made in Japan playlist. So we got through one playlist and two streams. So yeah. So overview of the wheel. The force feedback, like I said, is strong. The detail isn't there as far as like feeling understeer, oversteer, but it's, you know, it's like I feel like it's all strength. You're fighting it, and I read somebody was saying like they feel like they had a workout whenever they played this game with the wheel, and it's kind of like, okay, it's just
Plan hard to get.
all about strength, right?
Hold on.
The car you get when you beat this playlist is the DS Supra. No traction control, no
This
ABS.
is the final race, all together this time. You guys ready?
You bet.
Go for it, driver. This car was made to be first only.
Oh jeez. Yeah. One of those games where you just kind of like take shortcuts and
It was a pleasure
hit walls.
showing you around, my friend, and you definitely fulfilled your end of the bargain.
True. Didn't get bored, not even once.
Yeah, okay. You kinda did a good job. There's clearly a spot for you in the group, whenever you decide to come to Japan for some more action.
But with the settings, you can't really have it. You can't always be flooring it too. So that's kind of nice. Oh, okay. And you need to actually use the brake. What is braking? And the sound, I love the sounds. It sounds like underground, right? Everyone has a Type S blow-off valve. Right. That was bad. That was me, like, oversteer.
Looks like you got yourself a special car for this race. What a ride.
Courtesy of the Motorfest, I presume.
A pumped-up Toyota Supra 880. A solid choice.
Couldn't be more appropriate, actually. The Supra was specifically designed at the time to rival most of our cars, Skyline, NSX, or RX-7. And that customization looks flawless.
Pretty cool. But remember, nothing beats the R34. Funny way to pronounce NSX.
They're just sliding all over the place. It's pretty fun.
Shinjuku style, huh? Well, we'll see about that.
You gotta admit, it feels just like Tokyo.
Well,
Oh crap.
I guess they did do a pretty good job capturing the vibe of our streets.
Everything looks really good in this game. Like, definitely tell, like the color choices were like on purpose, right?
How come our new buddy didn't get to drive high as MX-5?
Fair point.
Who knows? Another time, maybe. There's still so much about Japanese racing we didn't touch on. Are we talking, guys, or are we showing our new member who the top dogs are in this pack?
Oh, I know what's happening. ABS. I forgot I turned off ABS.
Now wait for that car.
Yeah.
Did you get that, driver? He said let's punch
It's a
it.
checkpoint. Still had a little bit of lockup there, so I gotta find that sweet spot for braking.
Congratulations, driver. This was made in Japan for you.
Yeah, so we beat the Made in Japan playlist.
Awesome driving.
I still have to modify a car. I don't think I've done anything. I've been just driving all the test cars. Alright, so
To claim your reward, driver.
alright, let's go get our Super real quick. So let's talk about the wheel again. I think a direct drive wheel definitely like worth it for a game like this. even though yeah, it's mainly for sim. I mean, even if it had like a Logitech G29, I think this game would be fine. It doesn't need to be a super crazy wheel.
Hi there.
You just have to get used to it.
Welcome back on this side of the Pacific. We've got one last surprise for you, driver. Let's head back to the container.
So if you want to play the Crew Motorfest with a wheel and you have a G29, just use the G29. You don't have to get a direct drive.
Was outstanding. What an incredible car culture.
Oh god.
Spirited, stylish, unrestricted. We hope that playlist was everything you hoped for. Hawaii and Japan have a lot in common. Building this experience for you has been amazing.
So still a little okay. Be in the S2000. That guy has a Liberty Walk Supra. We both went off the cliff. You got an NSX like, look at these noobs. Yeah, I was just following the Supra. Yeah, so if you guys didn't know, this is like open world, right? So these are actual players and you could join their crew and stuff like that, right? I think the Crew 2 was like that, right?
Speaking for Hayato and his friends, I can tell you that they had a lot of fun. You clearly went way beyond their expectation. Being able to go toe-to-toe with these guys on their terms and ultimately come out on top. You rock!
I failed that challenge because I started it slow. Oh crap.
By the way, did you enjoy driving that Toyota Supra we lent you for the final event? I'm just asking. No reason.
Made my own shortcut there. Like a initial D, right? Downhill battle. Cut through the grass. So yesterday we were saying the graphics are good, but today I'm seeing a lot of glitches in the trees. And the graphics aren't even on ultra; they're just on high, right? Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the issue. All the cars are very drifty, but I mean that's part of the arcade experience. Right?
Ta-da! She was actually waiting for you all along. The Toyota Supra A80 Special Edition.
Alright, so let's collect our reward and then we'll talk more about the wheel. I think for this game you definitely have to have a round steering wheel. Just because of the drifting parts, right? And driving around town is very drifty anyway. All right, so we got the Supra. Let's see, what playlist should we do? I mean,
Back to where we left off.
got the Supra with like the stock tires that slide all over the place.
We're not staying in Honolulu just yet. We'll be joining the donut team at the bottom of the mountain.
All right, so I think I have some money. I kind of want to buy a car. I don't know if it's a bad idea because I don't know if they give it to you later on anyway, but I want to drive it right now. I think you guys know what car I'm about to buy. Of course, it has to be black. I'll go with the black wheels. Got my Lotus. Now this is an Exige, so not quite the same Lotus I have, but oh man, a mid-engine, and it sounds so good. Good. The difference between the Lotus Elise and the Exige is the Exige is a 6-cylinder supercharged, and mine's only a 4-cylinder supercharged. But I mean, and plus it's a different generation. It's like the redone front end. Let's look at it. Yeah, so look at that front end. It looks like a Porsche. But yeah, the sides are the same as mine. The rear is a little bit different. Now I gotta add a big wing, right? Big wing, LED taillights, carbon fiber, all the things. Yeah, that's my little car. Alright, so that was fun. Alright, so back. Chatting about the wheel. Closing remarks, I guess, for using a wheel. Adam. You playing Cruising USA? Yeah, man, the arcade. But, you know, I think it's very doable. Like, you could definitely go far with. You could play this game with the wheel. It doesn't have to be a controller. It's a little bit of getting used to, but you for sure can do it. I would recommend that, you know, don't jump directly to a direct drive. You could use a G29. You could use, like, pretty much if you already have a wheel, just use what you have, right? Not a sim. You're not gonna get the not finesse. You're not gonna get the details, right? With the feedback, but you will get the strength. So, you know, you'll have to muscle it a little bit at first. I mean, there's some fine tuning you got to do, but it's there, and it makes it fun. That's what makes the game fun. I would recommend that, you know, like, play around with the settings. We didn't get to today, but play around with the settings, see what you like. I definitely, whenever we changed it from the default to the I guess, what do they call it? Detailed settings or the precise settings, it was better, right? So I was able to get a higher score in drifting. I was able to oh, this guy just drove right through me. Control the car a little bit better, right? So yeah, I would recommend that if you use a wheel, you just use whatever you have. If you don't have a wheel, you don't go out and buy one. Just use your controller. Yeah, this being made for Gran Turismo still works. So yeah. Well, that was a little short stream there. Probably gonna edit this into a bite-sized, like, 5-minute video with B-roll and all that stuff. So I just wanted to show it live so that you guys could, you know, join along. And I'm glad that you guys are on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, everything. So hopefully I get my Instagram key. I've been talking about that a lot. So yeah. A couple more notes so I could add it into the video. With the force feedback, you could kind of feel the bumps in the road. like really aggressively, but you can't tell the difference between what's a curb and like what are rumble strips. So it's not that accurate. Straight line driving, you kind of have to keep the wheel. I mean, obviously keep the wheel straight, but if you start to turn a little bit and you fight it, you're just gonna get worse and worse and go out of control. So I always try to pick a position for the wheel and then hold it, right? Don't try to do a correction because the fine tuning is delayed, so it just gets out of like it. You turn right, and you want to turn left, so you start to turn left, but then it goes too much left, so now you have to crank it right and then left and right and left, and then you go out of control. So do a little bit and then hold it still. So you have to kind of drive ahead of the car. Yeah, and definitely change the settings. So those are the key points I wanted to make for the video. I know it was a short stream, but tomorrow we're going to be probably playing a little bit more. Maybe we'll start practicing for VIR. I don't know if we're going to be in Motorfest tomorrow. I guess it depends on, how many people want to see Motorfest. I know a lot of you guys in the community are about sim racing and not really arcade racing, right? All right, so Moni asked, are you able to feel any detail on the road surface while driving straight? Not as detailed as like a Assetto Corsa or iRacing and even Gran Turismo, right? In the drift event earlier, when we were driving on the smooth surface, it was over bumpy kind of to give you that exciting feel, even though the road was smooth. And in the straight line, even though I was running over lines, I couldn't feel the lines. And I think it's because those lines were kind of like a graphical thing to make the road look like it's bumpy, but it's not. So it wasn't as detailed. It's like artificial rumbling based on your speed versus the road surface is not laser scanned and is not like the physics of a wheel going over a curb. You know what I mean? It's almost like it's programmed to say, hey, you're driving over dirt now, have this vibration effect based on your speed. Oh, you're going over, I don't know, cobble road or rumble strips, have this vibration feeling versus feeling the wheel go over each individual bump. So that's how I would describe it. I mean, it's our arcade game, right? If you were using a controller, it would just rumble the controller, right? They try to make it accurate, but they, took some liberties here and there to make it perform better, or yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe save time having to like instead of having the whole island mapped out, right? Every single bump. So Moni also says, with regard to oversensitive steering, is there a setting to adjust the L to L on your wheel? L to L is, sorry, I don't know my DD terms yet. Direct drive. Like lock to lock? Okay, yeah, lock to lock. Let's see. In game or the FANATEC settings? Go back in game and then see. Going inside the view. Let's actually see if it's mapped out correctly. So, if I turn the wheel, it's upside down. In the game, I don't know, it's kind of dark. It's not upside down, it's more than upside down. So if it's right side up, it's if it's 90 to the right, it's 180. If it's 180, then it's like a little more than 180. And yeah, see, like here, man, this is a bad time to show because it's like nighttime. But I don't know if you guys can see the guy's hand. If you can see the hand, like, look at me. Alright, so I was blocking the camera. I go back to the beginning. Yeah, let me drive for a little bit. Let me find a place where it's lit up. I think this is because my settings, right? I change it to little bit more detailed instead of linear. Alright, so let's stay here. Alright, so you can see the wheel now, right? See the wheel in the wheel cam and in the game. If I turn it 90, it's more than 90. It's almost like 180. 180, a little bit more, but this is because of my setting, right? And then 4, and now it's locked. It's locked in game, but there's still a little bit more for play, or more rotation in the wheel, but not too much. I think that's because of the settings I picked. But I did that because of the delay. Let's try that. Let's turn the settings. Let me go back to default, and then we'll check the wheel. Now this is default settings. 90 is 90, 180 is 180. The default settings are good. It's just the it's harder to control a car that's very slidey with the default settings, because you have to, like, I don't know, like it feels hard to turn the wheel. The force feedback is strong, but like to crank it so that, you know, correct it, I mean, I guess you can, you just have to muscle it a little more, which makes it feel like an arcade game, right? But for me, who's kind of like, I don't want to build the habit of, you know, like muscling the wheel, maybe I'll just set it to by setting. But yeah, thanks for that, Moni. I appreciate those that advice, and like, you're right. That's how it is, right? What's this? What's wild setting? I guess it's less input. Yeah, you have to like really, just to get it to just okay. So just say this is like 50, this is like where you're at 180, that white mark. You have to like really muscle it. We're linear, yeah, to get to the white mark. It's a further distance, but yeah. Oh, actually, it's further. I mean, less distance here. And I don't. It's kind of hard to understand what they're trying to show you, because I actually feel like I'm turning more, even though there's more area under the curve, which to me means more area under the curve means you've achieved more of whatever you're measuring, right? But so let's say it's like 180 here. Maybe it's just a 180 mark, no matter what. Here I feel like I'm barely moving it. Here I feel like, again, I'm working for it. And this is more than 180. I don't know, I mean, like, kind of cool that they went with this graph, but try to make it a little bit more make more sense. Maybe the area under the curve doesn't mean anything, it's just showing you where you're at, what it is. It's definitely like the 50% mark, right? Yeah, if you drew a horizontal line across where it turns white, it looks like it's a 50% mark. No, okay, it's not, because it seems a lot higher. I don't know. And with the wheel, you don't want to have a dead zone. You want to be able to like fine tune, adjust it. The controller, you want a dead zone, because if your thumb is resting on the controller, you don't want to accidentally like drift to the left side a little bit while going straight, because you're touching the. I mean, I guess you could like fine tune these. So here's the range that you were talking about, 900 degrees. Let's try turning off dynamic range. It doesn't have any, like, it doesn't tell you what dynamic range means. And let's leave the range at 900. I mean, I think I'm still on precise. Change it back to default. What happens if I just leave dynamic range off? Maybe this feels. Yeah, so right now I just feel a wheel rumbling, Boney. Like
We need you to conduct a special experiment before settling down in the city.
use that tree.
Not gonna lie, James wants to start big.
Okay, now I'm in the river. Back. Yeah, you can't feel understeer. Like the same feel, right? It doesn't go light, get light. I honked. You know, I wonder. Maybe dynamic range depends on what you're doing. Maybe that's what it means. So right now 900 feels like, I mean, that's normal, right? That's 1080 is. Turn the light again. Forgot that brake is reversed. So the wheel amount moves the same, but let's see what the precision is, right? Like, it feels like it didn't change. Maybe what I need to do is like go to the extremes, right? Let's check out the extremes. Let's go like, what happens if we only do 90? Oh man. Okay, so it's the sensitivity, right? Like, look how much it moves. Maybe maybe I am supposed to do 1080. Then that means I would have to move the wheel a lot. Like 900 is the norm. Like, I'm barely moving the wheel. If you look at the wheel cam, I could do a full turn. Like, see, like. Okay. Alright, let's change that back. So that's what that means. If I go to dynamic, I'm assuming dynamic means it changes based on the mode you're doing. Like drifting, probably like a lower number. We'll leave on dynamic. I think that's what you're talking about, right, Moni? Turn radius on the wheel to auto. Wants me to like shortcut through them. That's probably what dynamic is auto. Let's see what the other settings are. This episode's all about the wheel, so get all the content. I'm gonna guess, yeah, this is probably like the 0 to 100%, right? Like in the middle, 0, and then on the far right are the extremes. And that's probably why, yeah, I mean, we saw it, right? It's precise. Turn it 90 and it goes 180. But if it's like that for the steering, is it also like that? Like throttle. Yeah, throttle is good at linear. Yeah, this, you lose some, like, I don't know why they call it precise. I guess like if you have a foot that could, you know, like really, you could control it whenever you're barely on it, then yeah, go for precise. But linear is probably the best here, right? Because you have a little bit more, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. Like with precise, you barely touch the gas and you're already like just say this is the 50% mark. You lose some of that precision, which is counterintuitive by the name. So probably leave the throttle default. Brake. I have a load cell pedal. This feels about right? Like maybe I needed to use this for the load cell. Because I think earlier when I was precise, I was hitting ABS. Maybe, yeah, maybe I'll do default. You know, honestly, maybe default's like, maybe I just disproved myself. Maybe default is the way to go. Well, I mean, I guess for the arcade game, the precise will help you with the steering, so you're not muscling it around. So maybe, yeah, maybe the setting is precise for steering, and then default for everything else, linear. Try it. Oh man. Out of nitrous. Oh. But I thought that was an actual driver, not traffic. It looked like a Mustang, right?
I don't want to spoil the surprise, so I'll just give you one clue. The first question involves Italy at its finest.
I had to dodge those guys because I didn't know if they were players or traffic. Pretty bad. All right. Those settings are there. So I was complaining about how strong it is. So maybe what I'll do is like turn it down and then turn the vibration and damper. Damper down, right? Because that's the hardness. And the vibration, I don't know. Let's try this. Physical weight. Trying to think, the cars all feel heavy. The vibration doesn't feel like it's enough. Try that. Okay, feels lighter. It's our arcade, right? So you kind of want it to feel rough. Now this feels like I'm understeering because it doesn't feel, it feels too light. And I'll only change it like 20%. I guess that's a big deal. At least I feel like I'm not gonna get fatigued trying to fight it the whole time. Let's see. Oh, it's funny. I saw that guy's screen name and I thought it was Neil. Hey Neil, what? You're online? Yeah, it feels like I'm always understeering because it feels so light. Kind of nice. Okay, so I'm gonna try that. What did I change it to? 50 hardness, and then lower the weight by 15%, and left the vibration at 75. Okay, this feels pretty good. Now that I've changed it in game, now we have to tune it in the FANATEC software, right? But we'll save that for another time. But yeah. So today we were able to test out the wheel. I feel like the wheel, you know, is usable in an arcade game. You don't have to use a controller. And yeah, so just try it. You have to try it for yourself. If you don't like it, then, you know, switch back to the controller. I'm kind of excited to try the wheel on Forza. So that's coming out in a month, and I'm gonna probably shift my content over to Forza whenever Motorsport comes out, just because I want to, you know, start simming there and being competitive. Like, I'd never got into multiplayer in Gran Turismo, so hopefully in Forza I could do multiplayer. That's the goal. Get some seat time before I go into something like iRacing. No, I mean, I don't know why I'm putting it off doing iRacing competitively, but I don't know. Maybe because I'm scared that I'm not good. Yeah, I'm excited for Forza. Motorfest I'll still play it because I actually had fun. Like, even though it's like not realistic, you know, modifying the cars, listening to the cars, the sounds, you know, it all brings back that kind of like feeling when you're playing like old games like Underground 2 and, you know, Most Wanted. So it's definitely like one of those games I'm gonna play for fun on the side. I want to do some multiplayer events like the Demolition. I know I said we were gonna do that today. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. But yeah, I'll do more events other than unlocking the playlist. But I finally was able to get the Lotus, so that's good, right? I'll use that as the car that I drive around town and then modify it a little bit. And then, yeah, knock out the playlist and do some multiplayer. Yeah. That's it for the stream. Well, I'll edit the video so it's like a smaller, shorter video and bite-sized amounts so you guys can watch it. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. And as always, peace.